This is a murder case, the most serious crime known to man. The state of Georgia accuses Ashley Daugherty of murder by unlawfully, with malice aforethought, causing the death of Philip Newton, a living human being, by gunshot, here in Gordon County, the state of Georgia, on April 1st, 2008. The state of Georgia also charges Ashley Daugherty with the crime of felony murder by unlawfully causing the death of Philip Newton during the commission of a felony of aggravated assault. These are called the elements of the crime, and as representatives of Gordon County, our co-counsel and I will prove to you the truth of these elements beyond a reasonable doubt. You may be assured that this isn't some type of whodunit case. There is absolutely no doubt who killed Philip Newton. At about 8:07 on the evening of April 1st, 2008, Philip Newton, a very talented local artist, received a telephone call from the defendant, Ashley Daugherty, begging him to come over to the New Ichota Museum that night. When Newton arrived, Daugherty shot him twice with an 1873 Colt 45 revolver. The wounds were fatal, but Newton did not die immediately. While Newton was on the floor of Daugherty's office, dying, Daugherty called her good friend Talbot Berry, who came flying over. It wasn't until 20 minutes later, after Newton had already died, that Daugherty finally called the police to report the shooting. You will hear from Detective Randy Talaliga that he saw Daugherty standing over Newton's body, with a drink in one hand and the murder weapon in the other. Daugherty confessed to Talaliga that she had shot and killed Mr. Newton, but she said she acted in self-defense. We will also prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that she did not act in self-defense. We do not have to prove motive. Motive is not an element of the crime of murder, but we will put on evidence to establish that Daugherty had strong motive to kill Philip Newton. That will help you understand how she acted with malice aforethought. A few months before the shooting, Daugherty had planned a big exhibition that was supposed to have as a centerpiece a painting known as the Cherokee Rose. The painting belonged to Mr. Raven Feather, a successful businessman, and you will hear from him during the course of this trial. To borrow the painting from Mr. Feather, the museum had to insure it for $1 million against loss. Daugherty also insured the museum in the event the exhibition was interrupted or canceled. You will hear that the painting was stolen and then recovered under very unusual circumstances. Philip Newton planned to go to the police and insurance company with his suspicions that Daugherty and Berry were involved in an insurance swindle involving forged paintings. If Newton's accusations were believed, this would mean that the museum would not get exhibit cancellation insurance, which would be bad for the museum, but most importantly, bad for Daugherty. You will hear from Newton's good friend, Forsyth Sparks, tell you how he overheard Daugherty beg Newton to come over to the museum that night, and how he worried for his friend. Newton believed that Daugherty would admit her involvement in the insurance fraud, so he brought a voice-activated tape recorder to capture her words, so that he could share it with the insurance company the very next day. But there was no next day for Philip Newton. The evidence will establish why this was not a self-defense shooting. Daugherty told Talaliga that Newton was breaking the diplomas on the wall of her office when she shot him. But Mr. Newton's body was found in the center of the room, not in the wall. Daugherty told Talaliga that Newton was grabbing her neck and choked her, but there was no bruising on Daugherty's neck. Daugherty did not call the police right away. The evidence will establish that Daugherty and Berry used this time to rearrange the crime scene. There was bruising on Mr. Newton's body and foreign debris on his clothes. All signs of being betrayed. Finally, by the time the police arrived, there was no sign of Mr. Newton's voice-activated tape recorder. Philip Newton was killed with malice, and at the conclusion of the trial, we ask that you return a verdict of guilty of murder and felony murder. Thank you.